Okay, so we'll continue with that project. And this we added the false ceilings actually. So we'll come into the ceiling plan. So this file or was it the other file? So that file. So last we created this false ceiling. Just take the section view towards here and go to that view and look into it. Right now you can see this drop of this ceiling is like uh, in the mid-air actually, so it doesn't have any support or anything. We want to show that it has a support in it. So I'll show you about the cove ceiling details. So they generally have these kind of detail supports. Okay. So you have to make these supporting details. So right over here, and a notch may be forming. Okay. So let's make that detailing. So for that detail making process, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the floor plan, ceiling plan, and I'm going to select that ceiling. Once I select that false ceiling, I'm going to switch in this to selection box actually, so that I just see in 3D view, I just see that selection region like that. Expand this just a little. Fine. And first create this cove detailing for this inner one, and then for the outer one we'll do that later on. So first let's do for this one. So I'm going to use a command over here in architectural tab, component. I'll take model in place command. Okay, so what I wanted over here means if I show you in a drawing mode, so in this section view we were able to see something like that. See, so we'll create this support so that this drop of ceiling can be held it. That, and we'll also create a notch. So that if you have a light, actually you can place that light. So the effect of that light can, can come out and bounce through it. And over here we're gonna create in the center actually. Similarly over here. So the lighting effect can be placed there and can bounce it. And can give you the illuminance basically. So for that creating process, okay, come into the component and take model in place command. Right. So when I take model in place command, I get this family category options. From the family category option, I'm gonna choose ceilings and then gonna click on OK. I'm gonna name this element. So I'm gonna call this as support ceiling bedroom. Suppose this is bedroom number 2. Name this as bedroom number 2. Gonna click on OK. And now we can create that support element. Now before I start creating a form, I'll first set my working plane, on what work plane you wanted to create that element. So set work plane. Now when you click on set work plane, get this work plane dialog box, and I'm going to click on this option which says pick a plane. So I'm going to select a plane on which work plane I want to create the form. So pick work plane, click OK, and I'm going to select this work plane. If you can see, if I'm just orbiting my slightest little screen, you can see this top of this work plane. Pick that, click it, and now you can click on show work plane to see. You can see that work plane is setted. So anything that I'll be creating will be created on that top of that surface actually. Okay, so I'm okay with that. Let us create an form. So I'm going to go into create. I'll get forms over here, and from the form I'm going to take sweep form. Okay, solid sweep. So in order to use solid sweep, we need to first create the path, and then we need to create the profile. So what will happen, that profile will follow along the path basically. Okay, so give you an example for this as well. So I'm going to click on solid sweep. So when I take the solid sweep command, over here I'll get an option, whether you want to sketch the path or whether you want to pick the path. I'll say, let's say we wanted to sketch the path. Means I'll decide where the path line would be and how the path line will follow. So I'm going to take sketch path. Okay. Now in order to sketch the path, I'll come into the ceiling plan and I'll sketch the path actually, so it will be exactly, I'm going to take a rectangle shape only, starting from an end over here up till somewhere here. Okay. You can give dimension differences as well. It's 139, it's 137 actually coming. It's 121. Let's make it equal actually. So let's give 150. This line as well. 150. And this line as well. You can delete the dimension if you want. Right, so we got that line. Right. Maybe if you don't want a line over here, you can knock off. Okay, so it will just be on these three sides. There will be no support on the back end actually. Once the path is completed, you can click on the finish mode. Okay, finish. So the path is drawn. Check into your 3D view also. So the path is created. Now we need to create the profile. Okay, so to create the profile, gonna click on this option which says edit profile. Okay, or you can come into the floor plan and click on edit profile. Sorry, the ceiling plan and click on edit profile to start making that profile sheets basically. So I'm going to click on edit profile. Now it will tell you, see, you can't create your profile in this floor plan or the ceiling plan. So you need to either be in the elevation view or either you can create this in the section view. So I'll take the section view. That would be more easier. Okay, so I'm going to come into section 1, which is the section line. Click on open with, and now I can create that support and even the notch together. So let's do that. I'm going to take the rectangular shape starting from this end all the way till here, and then you can lock these lines and provide thickness as well. A little more notch as well over here. Lock up the lines. That's the profile. Now before I click on the finish edit mode, I'll give the material to that objects. So this will have the material of gypsum wallboard. And you can also create an associate family parameter. If you want to change the material, you can change it. Now I can click on the finish mode, and one more time profiles are already given. It's okay. By sketch, you can keep it finish mode once again. If you look into the 3D view, slightly there is a little problem. Like you can see, it's like sticking this out actually, because we have curved this. So we should have curved the path as well, so that even this would have turned a little bit. So you can again click on Edit Sweep, select the path line, and you can also fill it this arcs. Give the radius of 50 mm. Okay, now we can hit on the finish mode. One more time, we can click on finish. 3D view to check whether it's curved or not. Yes. Turns, you can see that it turns. The radius is a little bit more. So if you know the radius, what radius did you provide? Maybe it was 30 mm. You can once again select that line, double click it, come back in the level, double click. You can change this radius. No, so it's very less. Stick 40 because 30 is like a little lesser. 40 mm. Just accept it. This slightly goes a little bit more. It should be 35 mm then. So that's okay with that. Deal with that later on. Finish mode. If I cut this section, support. Okay. Now you can see this line is appearing between these two support actually. So we can use the join geometry tool, showing both the elements. Make it as one element. If you look into your section 1, you can understand much better. Now even for this one, we need to create the outer ones. So same process. We'll take architectural tab, component, take model in place. And over here, we're going to take ceiling, name the ceiling. Set the work plane at top. Then you can create the sweep part. Like sketch actually. Sketch. make it that equal. The line comes in the center. Let's find out the radius for this. It's 50 mm actually. We can hit on the finish edit mode to complete the sketch path. Now we want to draw the profile, so we'll select this and click on edit profile. Can't create the profile in the ceiling plan view, so we need to take the section view or the elevation view. Now we can create that profile shape. Make it equal. Thickness. Make that notches as well. So little smaller thickness this time. Right. Click on finish mode. One more time we can click on finish. Now before I click on finish also, the material needs to be applied, which is already given. Just need to apply the associate family parameter. Finish. Finish. Okay, it says can't create sweep. That's because of that fillet error. Okay. So you can come into the plan view. This arc is creating a little problem. So introduce this arc length. Still there is a problem with that arc. Just give it still a problem. So let's remove it only. Let's not give any curve values. That's not allowing me to turn actually. This notch will be the problem actually. The ends of it stick out a little bit. Hello. So to fix that problem, what we gonna do is we gonna just once again double click and edit that profile. Not create these notches right now. Just create the center one first. Keep the notch separately. Do your section view. This is how it's gonna look up. The only thing we need is the outer notches. So once again, same process for the creation of the notch. Create model in place, ceiling, click on OK. Set the work plane, the plane, this plane, and click on create sweep sketch path. This time gonna pick lines. Pick this line, this outer arc line, that line, this line, and that line specifically. Finish mode, edit the profile in the section. And now we can create that shapes. Click on the associate family parameters. Finish. That's the problem. Let's remove this notch. Let's creates. Turns also, it's good. We need to create the internal one basically there. Same process. Model in place. Set a work plane. Pick a plane. Click on OK. We'll select this top working plane. Create the form sweep. Take sketch path. Come in the ceiling plan view. Take pick lines. this internal lines now. Finish. Edit the profile in the section view. Have this fancy fall ceiling at least ready. For this issue of this notch that was there, we could have fixed it using the same place. It's very hard to see actually. You can use join geometry tools to join that element. So got that covered. Similarly, over here we have the staircase also, so we need to cover that regions. So you can make up your own ceiling designs. Too short. Ceiling. Sketch the ceiling. And you can draw another ceiling design. So this is your another drop of the ceiling. Create another boundary. Make it as a cove ceiling. Go into the section view. You can define its height and everything. And then you can also create this support and this notch as well for these rooms as well. Create model in place, ceiling, set the work plane, solid sweep, take sketch path, the rectangular shapes, finish the path editing mode, edit the profile in that section view, we also got this little notch, it's too high actually. Associate this family parameter, finish mode, right click on finish editing mode, finish process. If you see this line appearing, take the join geometry tool. That is what it becomes a seamless. If we look into that section view also, So it's going to appear the detailings. Okay, so you have that. Next, false ceiling designs for bedroom number 3 as well. Okay, so that's how we make the detailings for the drop ceilings. Okay, now there are various other type of ceilings as well, like you have suspended ceiling, something like that. So we need to show these suspending channels. Okay, so in the next class we'll see about how do we create suspended ceilings details for acoustic ceilings, okay, or for grid ceilings. Okay, then you have other different type of ceiling details. Also you have rafter ceilings, something like that. So these are rafter ceilings. So if you want to create rafter ceilings, how you can create rafter ceilings. Okay. So we'll go ahead with that in the next class about rafter ceilings and suspended ceilings as well. Basically, so how do we create detailing for the suspended ceiling details? Basically, so we have created ceilings over here as well, but there is like uh, no details are not been added yet. Basically, so we need to still more add more details, just like we added this detail of this drop ceiling, how they are supported, okay, how they are hung actually. So similarly, for these flat ceilings, we need for the suspensions basically. Okay. So how do we create the suspensions in the ceilings? That's what we're gonna look. Okay. So I'll see you guys on next class. That's on today's what? Wednesday. I'll see you on Friday. Okay. By hopefully 1st June the class resumes. Okay, so we'll see on that whether we will continue online or whether we'll go ahead with offline classes basically. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys.